Do you have fatigue, brain fog, recurrent respiratory infections, gut problems, or unexplained inflammation? Are you constantly getting sick or never feel quite right and no one seems to have the answer? Well, it could be coming from your environment, like your home or workplace. Have you ever heard of sick building syndrome? Well, what is sick building syndrome? Well, it occurs when hidden toxins like mold or mycotoxins and poor indoor air quality trigger chronic symptoms that just won't go away. These toxins can colonize in your body, wreaking havoc on your immune system, hormones, brain function, and gut health, to name a few. And the tricky part, not everyone in the same home or office gets sick. About 25% of the people are genetically more sensitive to these toxins, what I call the canaries in the coal mine. These individuals struggle to detoxify mold and mycotoxins. This can lead to a syndrome called chronic immune response syndrome, and where the immune system stays in overdrive, causing persistent inflammation and illness. The symptoms of mold and mycotoxin exposures, if you've been struggling with, say, unrelenting fatigue that sleep just doesn't fix, brain fog, poor memory, trouble concentrating, or feeling spaced out, chronic sinus infections, allergies, respiratory issues, unexplained gut problems like bloating, IBS, or food sensitivities, hormone imbalances, weight gain, or trouble losing weight, frequent infections, inflammation, or autoimmune flare-ups. These could all be signs of toxic mold exposure. Where is the mold hiding? Well, mold loves to hide in places you wouldn't expect. It's not just obvious black spots on the wall, but it could be. It can be behind walls, under flooring, invisible in the HVAC system and the air ducts. These emit invisible mycotoxins that just won't go away and you don't always smell them. Many people say that mold is everywhere. Well, that's true, but they don't realize that there are five specific classes of toxic molds or mycotoxins from water damaged buildings that are harmful to humans and animals. If you smell a musky odor or see a leak or notice water stains, you need to take action because these toxic molds thrive in dark, moist environments with food sources like drywall or dust. Mold spores are like little packets of seeds. They don't grow until they land on a food source and they get moisture. Once they start growing, they compete for survival by releasing toxic chemicals or mycotoxins into the air to kill off other molds. Humans and animals become the innocent bystanders inhaling or absorbing these toxins, which can colonize in warm, moist areas of the body, like the sinuses, leading to recurrent sinus infections, constant drainage, your nose causing chronic rhinitis or allergies, the gut, triggering bloating, constipation, diarrhea, and food sensitivities, urinary and vaginal area leading to recurrent urine infections or vaginal infections, on the skin causing rashes, irritations, or unexplained irritations. The problem with standard mold testing is that not all mold inspectors are created equal. Many companies are just not properly trained to detect these toxic molds in people who are already sick. If a mold inspector only comes in and performs an air sample testing, they are not trained well enough to diagnose for a sick home or a sick people. I have learned this firsthand. After a severe hurricane, I had two separate local companies come in and perform air sample tests in my home, and both came back saying it was clean. But then, despite the reports, we still felt sick. Well, a few months later, we discovered that there was black mold growing behind a cabinet in my daughter's closet. The exact area where they were testing, it turned out to be a chronic leak that had been feeding the mold for years. Once we began remediation, we also found that significant mold in both of our air handlers and ducts. So when they tested the air, why didn't they pick up this that was growing in our air ducts? Because it was there when they tested. Because air sampling alone is not enough, there are better ways to test for toxic molds. There's special environmental cloth called the ERMI or Hertzme dust testing. This detects mold DNA in the household dust samples. Also, we could do urine mycotesting on you, where this shows that the mold that is growing inside your body. To find the right help, you need an indoor environmental professional, an IEP, who is trained to work with mold and mycotoxin illness people. Not just any HVAC company that took, say, a weekend or week-long course certification. This is how we have to heal and from mold and mold mycotoxin exposure. Healing from mold toxicity requires a two-part approach. Number one, remove the source. If the mold is in your home, you need a proper remediation by experts that are trained in mycotoxin illness. This isn't just about cleaning, it's about preventing cross-contamination. Get rid of the poorest things like mattresses, pillows, carpets, some upholstered furniture, because they can continue with contamination. Number two, support detoxification using binders, antifungals, and lifestyle changes to help your body eliminate mycotoxins safely. If you suffer from anxiety or stress, you may also need to reset your limbic system to help your body heal. Mold toxicity doesn't just affect your physical health, it impacts your nervous system, brain function, hormones, keeping your body stuck in a fight or flight mode that blocks healing. Resources and next steps. If this sounds like you, don't ignore the signs. Check your home. Get it tested by an experienced IEP, not just a general HVAC company. Get yourself tested with the urine mycotoxin testing after provocation. Find a provider like me who understands mold illness and knows how to treat it. A great resource is the ICI.org, which lists professionals trained in environmental illness and mold toxicity. So, mold illness is real, but there is hope. You don't have to keep suffering with unexplained fatigue, brain fog, respiratory issues, gut problems, or recurrent infections. The first step is identifying the root cause. If you want to learn more about detoxifying, functional medicine, and reclaiming your health, follow me for more tips on how to heal from the inside out. And check out my website for more information.